Special guest on Fire by Night is a young lady who sang with a group called These Three, a trio who backed up Amy Grant on her Unguarded tour, and she's now a solo artist. She's just released about a year or two ago, her first album, Living in the Vertical, and now more recently, A Different World, Renee Garcia. Renee, it's good to have you on Fire by Night.
Thanks, Blaine. I'm glad I could be here.
Yeah. Let me ask you, how did you come to know the Lord? And I heard that you got saved at a very young age. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Well, when I was a little girl, I lived down the street from a Methodist church in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I just went one Sunday with my brother. We walked. It was in the summertime, I remember, and the guy that was preaching, the minister, had a message that I knew was calling me to give my life to the Lord. I mean, it wasn't any big emotional thing. I just went forward and knew at that point in time that I needed to give my heart to Him. So I was 9 years old, and I'm not going to tell you how many years ago that was. I'll just let that be a mystery.
Now you sang, as we mentioned in the introduction, with what many people believe to be the biggest and the best in contemporary Christian music, Amy Grant. And that must have been a real thrill, traveling and being a part of the show like she does every night, you know, having 14,000, 15,000 people in the evening. What was that like?
Well, I gotta tell you, one of my first experiences was I didn't realize really how big Amy was. I mean, of course, Age to Age was a real springboard album, and when I got with her on the Straight Ahead tour, the first night I played or sang with her, I walked in the auditorium, just kind of stood on the middle of the stage and just kind of looked around at these seats of people, just filled with people. And so, I mean, obviously I have very fond memories of being involved with Amy, and in the 2.5 years that I was with her, it was a real time for me to develop myself as a singer and as a performer, and of course that obviously led to what I'm doing now.
Yeah. Well, now you're solo, and what new challenges have you faced going out on your own? Well,
probably the biggest one for me is because I was a support person most of the time, you know, for quite a few years, I basically supported the person that I was singing with, you know, and now I'm communicating on my own and sharing, you know, what's been going on in my life, and that's a challenge to me as an artist and as a songwriter, and trying to communicate that through singing. And I don't think that people have really begun to see who I am as an artist, and that's the neat thing about having a future of doing records, is hopefully that people will get to see more and more of my heart. So I am totally enjoying the privilege of being able to communicate with people through music.
Well, we're going to talk more about what's in your heart and what you are communicating to young people later in the program. But right now, I want you to set up a song that's really a hit, and now that it's a music video, it's called Perfection. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this song, and we'll take a look at the video.
Okay. This song is a lot about being stuck in the now and being prepared for the then. I mean, we all have things that we have to deal with every day, and some days are better than others. And those situations that are hard can be used to make us more Christ-like.
give us a brand new start. Take my life and let it be a stronghold of true liberty. Take my dreams and make them more like yours. Take my life and let it be of true liberty. Take my eyes and make them see in you perfection. Won't you take my life? Take my days and make them more like your perfection.
In your high school years and even beyond, you were involved in a lot of different outreaches with Christian music. You went to jails, juvenile detention centers, even parks, you know. And I like to see that in Christian music. What was that like? Did you see results, and what kind of things did the Lord do through that time in your life?
Well, you know, it seems like music tied to a Christian message has always been a controversial thing. I was involved with a rock and roll band at first, and we had a lot of problems with church Christian people not understanding what was going on. But I tell you, when you're out there and you're singing about the Lord and you have a pure heart and all, the results will show themselves. I mean, there were a lot of kids that came to the Lord. It was neat to go into prisons and see people in totally desperate situations because they had committed a crime, just be full of joy in a situation where they're going to see steel doors and bars probably the rest of their life. And that has been the essence of what I've come out of, and I find myself even now, I do some juvenile detention centers and prisons and street things, and it's neat to take the word to people that are hungry to hear it, and as long as I'm alive, I continue to do that.
I have to climb the highest mountain, then I'll climb it. If I have to sail the deepest ocean, then I'll sail it. Nothing is too great for me to do to please you.
The theme of the program this time is being in the world but not of the world as Christians. And we live in a very secular, immoral world, and yet we've got to maintain our Christian walk. But do you think it's possible, and I know it is, but I want your comment on this, to get so spiritually religious that we fail to relate to our generation? And how do we avoid that?
Well, I think that's a problem as Christian people. We've got our churches and we've got Christian clubs, we've got places that you can go for holidays that are specifically made for Christian people, and what happens is we can get really comfortable in that, and believe me, I know we need the fellowship and we do need to be with Christian people, but I feel very strongly that while we're here, we need to make a difference. And we do need to move outside of the walls of the churches and outside of our fellowship to let people know about the love of Christ. And so there is a danger when we start to make Christianity a club that's exclusive just for people that know Him, and we kind of turn our back on those or look down on those that don't know Him. The thing is, there's a lot of hungry people, and they need love, and we need to share that. And if we're not doing our responsibility, then people just won't know.
Yeah. Now, let's go to the other side of the fence, and that is going into the world and affecting our world. There's always a chance for the world's influence to come into someone's life. Where do you tell, or maybe in your own life, do you draw the line as far as, for instance, fashions? You know, there's fashions girls can buy out there that are contemporary, and then there's fashions that are, you know, almost immodest, and
Right.
and you know, styles and things like that. Because I think a lot of Christians feel like to be a Christian you got to be square or weird, and you can't look cool or look hip. You know, but where would you tell a teenager to kind of draw their lines of values in that area?
Okay, well, I mean, I know I'm even, you know, in my life, I am constantly tempted with thinking that having the right clothes or the right this or that, and wearing my lipstick a certain way is going to make my character the way it should be. But the reality is that our hearts first have to be right before Him, and that needs to show through. And I guess the thing I want to say to kids is, say to you that are listening today to the program, that you've got to not be fooled by what the media tells you. $45 Calvin Klein jeans are not going to make you the popular person that you so require to be, but to know Christ and to put your concentration in that is going to make the difference. And there has to be, and I believe that this comes with knowing the Lord, you will have a sensitivity about what you wear. Obviously, the Word stresses that we need to be sensitive to our brother, and some of the things that we can wear can, and this goes to guys and girls, can be a stumbling block for someone else, and we need to be sensitive to that. It's something that, as Christian people, we are told that we need to do.
You will come on.